Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do my full Papo Dinosaurs collection. So here I have 23 Papo dinosaurs, and that's my current collection. Actually, I have two more, I ordered two more online, which is not here yet, so there would be more review. So today let's look at these 23 dinosaurs from Papo. This is gonna be a long review, so I'm trying to keep it short for each dino. So I try to get a full shot of it. It's hard, but here we go. So this one, the first one here, is the Oviraptor. It's pretty small in size. So I think it's the smallest dinosaur in my collection. It's also one of the smallest from Papo. So here's the size comparison compared to the Velociraptor. So it's even smaller than the Velociraptor, as you can see. So this is really small and light. So he's holding an egg on his right hand. And the color scheme is pretty unique. This is the second version. So the first version I believe is yellowish brown in color, which is more normal or more realistic than this one. This just looks like a turkey, I think. I'm not sure about that, but here it is. It's pretty small, as you can see, compared to other dinosaurs. But I think it's either you like it or hate it for the color scheme. So there's a bright blue-green neck, and then a bright red head and beak. Again, even though this is a very small figure, it's highly detailed. Very detailed. And as you can see, it has to rely on his arm or the egg to stand. And I already covered that in my last video about the standing issue on all the Papo two-leg dinosaurs. All the two-leg dinosaurs have the same problem. But this one is relying on his right hand or the egg to stand. He cannot just stand with his own two legs. Just let you know. And by the way, I already cover on my last video. I already covered 7 of these dinosaurs. So I'm not gonna cover those 7 in this video. And I'm gonna put a link in the description below so you can watch that video instead. And then this one again, I covered that. Oh no, actually I didn't cover this. So this is the Papo Velociraptor. I'm not even sure the edition for this. This is probably the 3rd or even 4th color variation. But hands down, this is my favorite. This is, I mean, at least the color scheme. I'm not sure, it's hard to see from the camera, but this is just a beauty. It's purple. I think it's a purple color with the tip of his tail is kind of blue. It's really hard to see. And then there's some brown on his spine. This is a very colorful and very pretty figure, and it's my favorite of all the color scheme. The first one, so I think this is a better angle. The first one is brown, yellow brown color, and then the second one I think is I'm not even sure, it's gray or whatever. This is at least the 3rd or even the 4th version. So this is very nice color. And for size comparison, it's a little bit oversized actually, because you can see it's not much smaller than a T-Rex and also the Stegosaurus. Yeah, it's not very accurate in size. I think it should be similar to this size, to this Oviraptor. But so let's move on to the next one. This is the Tylosaurus, I believe. It's one of the it's not a dinosaur actually, it's a marine reptile. It belongs to the Mosasaurus family. So it's I have to admit, it's not my favorite. It's not one of my favorite dinosaurs. But yeah, it's not even a dinosaur, but again, the mouth, unlike other Papo dinosaurs, it cannot move, so it just stays like that. It doesn't have a movable jaw. And that's pretty much it. For size comparison, It's quite long actually. It's almost as long as a T-Rex, but it's between a T-Rex and a Stegosaurus in terms of length. But I'll give you a size comparison with my let's say killer whale. I have a Papo killer whale over here. It's definitely longer than the killer whale. I think it's similar in size with the sperm whale actually. Yeah. But in real life, I think it's a little bit smaller than the sperm whale. And not much I would say about it. It's not my favorite Papo model. The paint job is just pretty bland, but again, it's highly detailed, except it doesn't have a movable jaw. That's one of the letdown. So the next one is this one, the Papo Dimetrodon, I think is the name. It looks like a lizard from far away, or even this close. But it has a unique spine thing. It looks like the Spinosaurus. But it's one of the more famous dinosaurs. And this one actually has a movable jaw, so you can open its mouth and you can close it, so it's very nice. And it has a pretty bright color scheme, as you can see. It's one of my favorite. Again, I think it's a little bit oversized compared to, it's like half the size, or I don't know, it's too big, I think, let's say compared to the T-Rex, compared to the Raptor. So a lot of the Papo figures are oversized, but this is very, very accurate and beautiful figure. Highly detailed. Look at the scale. You can see every single detail in this thing. But yeah, it kind of looks like a lizard from a distance. But again, this one is highly detailed. So I recommend this one. And actually, I would not recommend this one. So I'm going to give my opinion on each one of these. And I would definitely recommend the Velociraptor. And I would not recommend the Tylosaurus. But it's up to you. That's just my opinion. So these two, not my favorite. And these two, I would recommend it. And then the next one is the Papo Ankylosaurus, another famous dinosaurs. So this one is not based on any Jurassic Park movie. I don't think so, because this one came way before Jurassic World, in which there's Ankylosaurus. Again, this one not based on any Jurassic Park. Not this one, not that one. But the Velociraptor is. This one is based on the Jurassic Park. It is not the color scheme, but the whole the sculpture. The model is based on the Jurassic Park Velociraptor. But I know they released a feathered Velociraptor, which is not based on Jurassic Park. But again, I like this one more. I know this is probably not realistic, but I prefer this one. So the Ankylosaurus, again, very, very highly detailed model. You can see all the armor plate on his back and also on his tail. So compared to like the Velociraptor, nothing special on his back or anything. It's just a regular dinosaur, but this one packs with lots of details. Look at the underneath, the scale and the armor, pretty unique. Since this is a herbivore, it doesn't have movable jaw, so it's okay. And it has a unique pose with it. This is one of my favorite, of course, and kind of rare to find right now online. In terms of size, I think this one is actually one of the few that is a little bit undersized. It's smaller than it should be. Compared to the Stegosaurus, the Stegosaurus is way bigger than it. I think it should be a little bit bigger. But anyway, I would recommend this one for sure. So I already covered this one in my last video, so I'm not going to talk about this. But I would highly recommend the Stegosaurus. This one, Styracosaurus, again, I already covered it. I would recommend it. This one is Ceratosaurus. I already covered this, and I highly recommend this one. I will talk about this a little bit later with the standing issue. So the next one is this one, the Amargasaurus, I think is the name. Is one of the sauropods, one of the long neck dinosaurs. Again, this one highly detailed in terms of You know, its shapes and the paint job is very nice, and everything is perfect except the size, I would say. Look at this. This is the most undersized Papo figure ever. Look at it. Compared to the T-Rex, it's tiny. Everything just dwarf this dinosaur. Look at this. It's smaller than everything else except the except this one, the Oviraptor. But otherwise, it's smaller than everything else. But in reality, this is a big dinosaur. It's bigger than a T-Rex. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe this is a juvenile or whatever. I don't know. It's just too small. Although he has a very long tail. I mean, compared to the Brachiosaurus, this is a joke. It's just way too small. So, but everything else is very nice. I like the color scheme. It's kind of orange, brown, and there's some, like, I don't know, spine, whatever, on his neck. So very nice figure overall. One of my favorite. If it's a bit bigger, I would like it very much. I would recommend this anyway. So the next one, Triceratops, I already covered this. This is actually based on the Jurassic Park, the first movie. That's why it has this color scheme, which is kind of plain, but I would highly recommend this one. It's one of my favorite. And the next one is this one, the Iguanodon, I think is the name. It's very hard to pronounce the dinosaurs' names anyway. I tried, but this one is not featured in any Jurassic Park movie, which is a surprise because this is quite a famous dinosaurs, I think. And but it is in one of the Disney movie, I think, the dinosaur. It was one of the main character, but it's not in any Jurassic Park movie. So this one again, highly detailed, very nice figure. This is actually, in fact, one of the few, or one of the only herbivore with an openable jaw, so you can open his mouth. This is the only herbivore that can do that. Although the articulation is not very great, so you can only open a small angle. That's all you can open it. It's not very big, and no teeth, but you can see his tongue. So all the Papo figures has very highly detailed head and the mouth. Even inside the mouth is packed with details. I mean, you're not gonna see it when its mouth is closed, but Papo includes that. So, in my opinion, hands down, Papo is the best company for making dinosaur models, at least in this scale and price point. It even beats some of the higher, more expensive dinosaur figures. So, it's really, I appreciate that. And the color scheme, I'm not sure. It's kind of gray, light gray, and some, I don't know. That's all. It's hard to tell what color it is, but it's pretty generic color. And the size is, this is actually one of the few which is pretty accurate. Maybe a little bit bigger, but it's not too bad compared to the others. So compared to a T-Rex, it's slightly smaller, of course. You can see. And then compared to a Stegosaurus, yeah, it's pretty much about the same. So this is pretty accurate, in fact. And the next one, this is hard to pronounce again, I know. This is the Parasaurolophus, whatever. Okay. And this one is another famous dinosaurs. And it is based on the, I think, probably based on the Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, because I think they have this in the movie. But I'm not sure about the color scheme. I don't think it has this color. This is kind of bright yellowish green color. But again, besides the color, is a very accurate model. It's very beautiful. And actually, one of my favorite game, the Carnotaurus, it has this one also. So the Carnotaurus game, if you play it, you can let me know in the comments below. And yeah, it has some of the famous dinosaurs in that game. And it reminds me of that game a lot. So this one, highly detailed. Even the back, they're making a small hump over here. They don't have to do that. I mean, but they decide to even do this small detail. I think most people are not gonna care about it, but highly praised. I mean, Pablo did a really great job. and everything looks perfect. Of course, it's a herbivore. It doesn't have an openable jaw, but everything else is fine. And this is the size comparison. It's pretty accurate in size again compared to like other dinosaurs. Pretty accurate. Slightly smaller than the T-Rex. And then let's move on to the next one, the running T-Rex. So I got two. This is the purple one. This is the newer one. But this one has a terrible standing issue. It's hard to lift this standing. This is one of the worst with the standing issue. So again, I got two. I got the purple one and the green one. It's hard to see from the angle, but the green one is the first edition. The purple one is the second edition. The running T-Rex. So this is the standing T-Rex. The standing T-Rex came first. And the running T-Rex, I think, compared to the standing T-Rex, is similar in size, actually, if you can tell from this angle. Okay, it's not standing. This is, again, the green standing one and the green running one. It's pretty similar in size, although it's hard to tell because of the different pose. But similar in size, but the head sculpture is quite different. This is the standing one is very Jurassic Park-like. And I think the running one is not based on the Jurassic Park T-Rex. It's actually based on the King Kong, the V-Rex. Especially his head and the mouth. Look at the teeth. It's very crooked. So it's very similar to the V-Rex from King Kong, the King Kong movie, the 2005 one. And the purple one and the green one has the same sculpture, so it's the same except the color. But I know some people would say it's slightly different in the tail, but it's not really noticeable. So, but if you ask me, I actually like the green one more because it's more generic. The purple one is just too unrealistic. Although some people might like the color purple. It is a bright purple and orange color. And his feet is kind of, I don't even know. It's kind of dark purple or gray. So it's different. This one is just, the whole thing is green. Again, it's hard to tell from this one. But both of them hardly stands. These two has one of the worst standing issue among all the Papo figures. But all the standing dinosaurs, the two-legged dinosaurs, have the same issue, but these two are the worst. Most of the case, it won't stand. You need to have a completely perfect surface for them to stand. It's not stable at all. Yeah, I just dropped some dinosaurs. But, yeah, it doesn't stand at all, as you can tell. All the carnivores are not standing. Which is pretty terrible. So this one, Carnotaurus, I already covered that in my last video, so I'm not gonna go over it. It is, again, one of the worst standing issue. And then this one is the Allosaurus, the famous Allosaurus. This is not based on the Jurassic Park movie because it doesn't even have one except the Fallen Kingdom. It has a Allosaurus, a cameo, but it's only like 1 minute. And this figure came before the movie, way before. This came out like 5 years ago. But yeah, so this is not based on any Jurassic Park movie. Again, this one doesn't stand at all. It's very hard to stand. So this is one thing that I would complain about Papo. Although they did everything else perfect, or maybe except the size issue, but the standing issue is the worst. So if Papo, if you're watching this video, I hope you will fix this issue. This is terrible. This is brand new. It's not even used. But besides that, this one, I like it very much. The Allosaurus figure. It's hard to see from the camera, but the color scheme is kind of unique. So it's not just one color. It has several variations. But yeah, I'm not going to comment on the color. It's hard to tell. Whatever. But this one has a movable jaw, of course. It's a carnivore. And very nice, highly detailed. It has some horns or whatever spine on his neck and on his back, on his tail. Very nice figure. And actually, you know what, I think the Jurassic World Allosaurus may actually copy this one. This is the only other way around. I'm not sure, I haven't paid attention that much because it's only like 30 seconds. but I think it looks a little bit like this one. And then for the size comparison, I hope this would work. So this is the size comparison. It's pretty accurate. It's smaller than the T-Rex, of course, and a bit bigger than the Ceratosaurus. So that's the size comparison, and then the Velociraptor, which is oversized. But anyway, just show you how big it is. So it's actually quite accurate for the Allosaurus, and compared to this one, which I'm gonna talk about right now. Actually, this is the Acrocanthosaurus, which is not in any Jurassic Park movie. So again, the Papo is known to copy almost every single dinosaur from Jurassic Park for the dinosaurs, but this is not in Jurassic Park. I mean, it's in the one of the game, the Operation Genesis, but this is not based on that one, obviously. So this one has the purple scheme. This is this first edition, actually. Of course, I have the second edition as well, which I already covered in my last video. So this is a comparison. And I'm sure you know which one I like more. Of course, I like the new one more, because this is more realistic and way prettier. So it has a tiger-like color scheme, way more realistic. This is just unrealistic. Although, I mean, some people might like the purple again, but I mean, this is, I think based on the dinosaur, on this one, it doesn't look very well. But I got it anyway. So this is a large carnivore. So of course, size comparison time is bigger than the Allosaurus, of course. Slightly bigger. And it's smaller than the T-Rex. It's hard to tell from this angle, but yeah, it's smaller than the T-Rex, which is accurate. It's slightly smaller, but it's slightly bigger than the Allosaurus. But despite the color, it's a highly detailed model. I like it very, very much. But I just like this one more. It has a movable jaw. This one doesn't have standing issue because it has to rely on its arms to stand. So it's kind of like a quadrupedal dinosaurs, like the Spinosaurus, whatever. I don't know. So the next one, I forget which one I haven't covered. Okay, this one, the Pteranodon, the flying reptile. So it's not a dinosaur, but of course I think this one is based on the Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World Pteranodon. So it's a family of the pterodactyl, of course. It's very lightweight. I think it's the lightest dinosaurs figure. Similar to this one, but this is very, very light, and it's not too big, but it has a big wingspan. So look at how big the wingspan is compared to other dino. So it's wider than the Ceratosaurus, but of course it's not as wide as the T-Rex. I would say it's maybe similar to the Allosaurus. A little bit smaller, but quite wide in terms of wingspan. Yeah, it's a really, really pretty, highly accurate model. I like it very much, but it doesn't have a movable jaw, but I don't blame it then because it's a small figure. It's not very big. But yeah, I like this very, very much. I would recommend this. So, oh, I forget. The T-Rex, the running T-Rex, I would not recommend actually, because the standing issue is just way too bad. It doesn't even stand at all. But if you really want to get it, I'll recommend the green one more than the purple one. But both are bad in terms of standing issue. The Allosaurus, although it has a bad standing issue, I'll still recommend it because it's a unique figure. Because the T-Rex, if you want a T-Rex, definitely get the standing one. Highly recommend. But the Allosaurus, they don't have another version, so I would still recommend this one. I'll recommend this one, not this one. I would recommend this one, but not the purple one. But it's not too bad because it doesn't have the standing issues. I would recommend this one and this one. So far, not including these two, of course. So far, those are the ones that I don't recommend. And then let's move on to the next one. I already covered this one in my last video, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I haven't covered this one, which is an identical, almost identical T-Rex. So this one is the Papo standing T-Rex, the brown one. The green one, I think the green one came out first. So this is the first edition. This is the second edition. This one I got it used. This is the only figure that I get it used. So it's not brand new. So as you can see, there's some wear and tear on the dinosaurs, but not too bad. I mean, nothing broken so far, although his legs start to bend. I'm not sure, maybe under the sun too much. But from this distance, you cannot even tell the difference. They look exactly the same, which is kind of true. At least the bottom part, the lower part of the body, actually except the head. Everything is identical except the head. If you are really a fan of the T-Rex, especially Jurassic Park 1, you can tell the head is different. Definitely different. You can see this part. This part, it has a cheek, like this lower jaw, this something here, which is pretty cute, but this one, it does not. It's not as you can see, it's not as fat in this part. This one is more fat. But anyway, it's kind of funny. But yeah, this part is definitely different. It's not the same. It's not identical. And yeah, I would say even the top part is slightly different, although it's hard to tell. This is a little bit skinnier, and this is a little bit more it has more baby fat, I would say. But this one is based on the Jurassic Park Rexy, the first T-Rex in the Jurassic Park franchise, and also it also appears in the last two movies, the Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This is more like the Jurassic Park 3 T-Rex, the green one. This is the brown one. Rexy is brown, so if you like Rexy, then you should get this one. If you like the Jurassic Park 3 or the one from the game, the Genesis one, then this one. If you ask me which one I like more, I would say I like this one more. But this is just my opinion, because I like the Jurassic Park 3, and I like green on the T-Rex. I think it's more natural. But I would say like it's really close in my opinion. I would recommend both, of course. But I just like the green one slightly more. Although I think most people would also like this one because a lot of people like Rexy, of course. I understand that, but I like this one more. It's more cute, and I like green more on this T-Rex. And actually, I still have two more to go. So this one is the Spinosaurus. I already covered this in my very, very first video, not the last one. And this is definitely based on the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. And the Spinosaurus is my favorite dinosaurs, actually. So, of course, I have to get this one. And this is huge. This is even bigger than the T-Rex, which is accurate. So let's take this one as a comparison, because both have the same pose. So as you can see, definitely the Spinosaurus is longer and taller than the T-Rex. It's also heavier, of course. This is the largest carnivore dinosaur in real life and also in the Papo lineup. It's even bigger than the T-Rex. For this too, it's hard to tell, but yeah, the Spinosaurus clearly bigger. Especially, let's say you compare to the Acrocanthosaurus, it's definitely bigger. As you can see, way bigger. It's not even close. So the Spinosaurus definitely the largest. But this one, based on the Jurassic Park 3, I mean the color is pretty close. I think it's not exactly the same. It's a little bit reddish in the Jurassic Park 1, but anyway, this is highly, highly detailed. I like the head a lot. It's exactly almost an identical copy of the Jurassic Park 1, which is not scientifically accurate. If you are a biologist or a dinosaur fan, you would know that. But yeah, if you ask me about the movie one, this is as close as you can get. I like the mouth a lot. It's a movable jaw, of course. Yeah, it just look exactly like the one in the movie. It has a spine. I think they came up with a newer color scheme, which looks identical, but I think it's a little bit brighter. I'm not sure. But again, this one actually has one of the worst standing issue. You may not notice right now because it has its left arm to help it stand. But I think this is not supposed how it's supposed to stand. This is how you're supposed to stand. It should stand like this. Like every picture I look at online, it should stand like this. So the arms is not touching the floor. But this one will never do it. Not even for a single second. But since his arms are pretty long, so it just it's not a big deal, I guess, because it still looks like it's standing. It's not, totally fall down like the T-Rex, because the T-Rex, of course, have small arms. It cannot stand. We cannot lean on his arms. This one, you can lean on his arms. But this is not how it's supposed to stand. This should be. But if I let go of my hand, then, yeah, it just lean on his arm. I think this might be a defective one, but I'm not sure. I think most of it are like that. So this is, of course, I would definitely recommend this one. It's one of my favorite figure. And the last one, I think, hopefully I didn't miss anything so far. The last one is the Brachiosaurus. So this is the most expensive Papo figure. And of course, it's the biggest and the heaviest. As you can see, it dwarfs even the Spinosaurus. This is a size comparison. It's way bigger than the Spinosaurus. But I'm not sure. I think it's pretty accurate compared to the Spinosaurus. I mean, in terms of scale. I think that's how it compares. I'm not sure. But Brachiosaurus, very, very heavy. It weighs 1 kilogram, I think. So 2.2 pounds. And this is, of course, based on the Jurassic Park Brachiosaurus. So it's a huge theropod. Very, very tall. Twice as tall as the Spinosaurus. Very heavy. Highly detailed. Yeah, there's not much I can say. It's just highly, highly detailed. Everything is just pretty. And of course, this is a large figure. It's huge. So this is not really a toy for any kids. I mean, the others, you can actually play with it. I think most of them you can play with kids. But a few of them are not suitable for kids. I mean, at least, I think it's a little bit too big. This is one of them. It doesn't have a movable jaws. It's a herbivore. But yeah, this is heavy. And since it doesn't have a movable jaw, yeah, I would say this is a display model. So yeah, it's a huge figure. It will occupy a lot of space if you're planning to get it. And again, I think this is already discontinued. This is from way back. So if you want to buy it, it costs around 60 or 70 bucks. It's very, very expensive. It's as expensive as this one, because this one is also discontinued. Everything else is between $10 to $30, around that range. Most of the figures, $10 to $30 each, which is still okay, I guess. But these are way over 30 bucks. This one, probably the Spinosaurus too. But everything else should be less than $30. But yeah, this is way, way, way big and expensive. But lastly, just do one more comparison, because I have the blue whale here, another favorite figure of mine. Let's compare the size comparison. So in reality, the blue whale is actually bigger than the Brachiosaurus, but in here, I think the Brachiosaurus is bigger. I mean, in terms of length, the blue whale is slightly longer. But if you do it this way, it's actually about the same length. It's not a big difference. Maybe it's slightly longer for the blue whale. But in terms of weight, the Brachiosaurus obviously weight more than the blue whale. This is like 0.6 kilogram. This is 1 kilogram. But in reality, this is the blue whale is 4 times as heavy actually. This is almost 200 tons. This is only like 50 tons, or at least 3 times as heavy. So the blue whale should be bigger, or the Brachiosaurus should be smaller. But compared to other dinosaurs, it's easier to just scale this up instead of scale this down. Because if you scale this down, it will be too small compared to other dinosaurs. But I think this is a funny or interesting comparison between the blue whale and the Brachiosaurus. But again, of course, the blue whale is definitely too small. Look, this is like not even twice, about twice, but this is way longer than this one. I think 3 times as long. And compared to, compared to the Acrocanthosaurus, it's just, the blue is just too small, of course. But I already covered this in my whales review, so you can watch that too. So again, this is all my dinosaurs. Again, I would recommend the Brachiosaurus, of course, one of my favorite dinosaurs. So those here are the ones that I don't really recommend, but of course it's still a very good figure. You can still get it if you want, but those are highly recommend. Especially if you ask my favorite, really favorite one among these, I would say the Brachiosaurus, Spinosaurus, although it still have some issues with it. This one, the Acrocanthosaurus, this color scheme, the green T-Rex, the green standing one. This one, the Stegosaurus. Actually, I would recommend the Triceratops as well. This one. No, not this one. This one, actually, I wouldn't recommend this one. Actually, this one, nothing special. It's too small, not standing. Nope. Yeah, everything else I would recommend, but especially the one I just mentioned. Highly recommend. So this is my review of my Papo dinosaurs collection, which includes 23 dinosaurs. I still have 2 coming, and I might order even more. So there will be more reviews soon. So I hope you like this review. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.